Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we have a Drytron Handtrap guide. I've lost a lot of matches against this deck, to say the least, and I just wanted to kind of do some testing, see when exactly to handtrap them, and I have applied them to my last few matches and I have won them. So I just wanted to kind of share my knowledge of what handtrap to use when, and I hopefully this video does help you, and let's get started, shall we? So the first handtrap we will be looking at is Nibiru. Nibiru is pretty self-explanatory. You just hit them on their 5th summon, and usually their 5th summon is the Drytron Gamma, so it's very easy to know when to use Nibiru just on their 5th summon. I don't really think I need to show that, but that can't really be said for Meister. Meister is a lot more difficult to use since it's not just a, oh, you summon 5 monsters, slam. You have to know exactly when to use it. So I guess I'll start now. So first off, this is kind of the bread and butter combo for Drytron. You use your alpha, get rid of Zeta. Alpha searches the Benton, and then if you use Zeta's effect and your opponent like Meister's, and while you Meister their Zeta, then they are in a pretty bad situation. But the thing is, with Benton, they are able to search Lancia or a Herald of Orange Light depending on what situation they have, or they can just search a Manju and they can later just transpose into a Dragoon depending on their build. So it can be a bit riskier if your deck cannot deal with the Lancia. Then I would not recommend ashing them here. So that's something to take note of. If your deck cannot deal with Lancia, then you do want to let the Zeta resolve. Zeta summons itself. You search a copy of Meteorness. And ashing this Benton search either is just really bad. Not ashing, using Meister on this Benton search if they declare it, it doesn't really help you at all, since they can just go into Union Carrier. Like, they can easily just go into the Union Carrier, use Union Carrier's effect, equip Dawn Knight. Like, I'll just show it up here. You go ahead, equip Dawn Knight. Where is he? Yep, here is Dawn Knight. You use your Meteorness. You go ahead, tribute off the Union Carrier, summons Benton. Then you use Dawn Knight's effect, send Gamma, and then you just still end with Vanity's Ruler even if you ash that first Benton. So a lot of people say just stop their Benton, but that is definitely not the correct play here. Like, I will go ahead and reset the stage for you a bit. So now we will let the Benton resolve in this case. Usually they will just search the Vanity's Ruler. That is definitely their best search in this scenario. Now they go into the Union Carrier, of course. You're gonna go ahead, use the Union Carrier's effect, and Union Carrier will be equipping the Dawn Knight. Where is the Dawn Knight? Where is he? Over here. So now they're gonna use their Meteorness Drytron in order to go ahead, tribute off the Union Carrier, summon back Benton. Dawn Knight will trigger. Now this, depending on whether your deck can play against Lancia, well, once again, if you're going through this path, then your deck probably can play through Lancia. So if your deck isn't able to play through Lancia, then you usually just want to negate the Dawn Knight. So what they're left with here, they have no way to recover their Meteorness Drytron. They have no way to summon Vanity's Ruler, and they're just left with a dead Benton on their field. Unless they have another Drytron name, in which case it's an entirely different story. But still, even with another Drytron name, for example, if they have a Delta, they just like summon the Delta, and they really can't do anything from there. They use Benton, just search Lancia, or a Herald of Orange Light depending on the situation. But generally, in order to minimize the amount of interaction they are left with, this is usually the best place to use Meister, just because it does stop them from gaining access to, it forces them to use other cards to gain access to it. For example, if you let them use Dawn Knight, then they go ahead, send the Gamma, You use Gamma's effect, tribute off Ben 10, you Skull Meister that, then Ben 10 is still able to search a Herald of Orange Light or a copy of Lantia, so they still have interaction, which is why I generally don't like letting them resolve the Dawn Knight. So that is kind of the Skullmeister bit. Now we will go to using Ghost Spell. Ghost Spell, another super strong hand trap specifically against this deck, since you are able to hit most of their cards. So sorry, I'm just resetting the plane over here. This is not pre-recorded, so let's do this. Now we will see what we do against Ghost Spell. You start off with the copy of Alpha, of course, tributing off Zeta. Alpha will be searching your copy of Ben 10. Use Zeta's effect, tributing off the Ben 10. Some people Ghost Spell here. Please do not Ghost Spell, because you, even through Ghost Spell, you still have to either contest with a monster negate or a Lancia, since they can use Ben 10 and search whatever they need. So if you let this resolve, then you go ahead summon near Zeta. Zeta searches Meteorness, of course. They use Ben 10 searching the Vanity's ruler, and then they will go into the Union Carrier, and they'll use Union Carrier's effect. You can't Ghost Spell here, obviously. They're gonna go ahead equip their Dawn Knight, and now when you activate Meteorness Drytron, if you Ghost Spell here, well, by the way, you are able to Ghost Spell Meteorness Drytron, which is like really cool. And most Drytron decks don't run too many ritual monsters, so it's not very likely they've drawn an extra ritual monster for them to ritual summon with. If they did draw the extra Natasha or Ben 10, they would have obviously tributed it with Alpha at the beginning. In which case it would be a different story, but this is usually the best place to use Ghost Spell. The Meteorness Drytron fizzles. Sorry, I said the F word. I mean, it resolves without effect, and they're stuck with a Union Carrier, and they have no way to interact with the graveyard, and they have a dead Vanity's ruler in their hand. So this just minimizes the amount of interaction from their side. So that is really good. And that is kind of, you're usually able to just OTK depending on what deck you're playing. I personally just play PK, and I can't deal with the Lancia, which is why I mainly this is mainly why I'm usually just safer with my plays. So that is kind of the Ghost Spell part. Using Droll, it's very self-explanatory how to use Droll. With Droll, you just kind of use it on their first. You just use it on their first search, and they can't do anything. They literally cannot do anything after drolling, so that's kind of obvious. With Gamma, now Gamma is a really nice one. It is just a really high impact hand trap, especially against this. With this hand specifically, they can't do anything. You use the Alpha effect, they chain Gamma, it goes to graveyard, you're dead. You can't do anything. You literally cannot do anything after this. Although with a different hand, for example, I'll just return this to my hand. If they have Ben 10 in their hand, which is kind of once again your Exodia hand, if they use Alpha's effect, tribute Ben 10, if you Gamma the Alpha now, then you are able to still get Ben 10 search for another Ben 10. You're able to go ahead, they're able to search like another Lantia or Herald of Orange Light depending on their hand. So they still end on at least a negate or a full blockout, which is why it's not too great of an idea to Gamma the first one. So you summon Alpha, there's no point in you're obviously searching Ben 10. There's really no point in negating the Ben 10 here, because they can just go with their normal plays. So this Ben 10 searches Vanity's ruler, and now you're going to be summoning out your Zeta, tributing off the Ben 10. You're gonna get another search with a Meteorness and a copy of Herald of Orange Light, which can later transpose into a extra double negate, which is very difficult for you to deal with. But now you go into the copy of Union Carrier. And when they use unit carrier's effect, you just chain Gamma, negate it, and they're left with nothing on field. At most, you just have one Herald of Orange Light to deal with, which is really easy to do with just one monster negate. Pretty much any deck can play with one monster negate unless you've bricked horribly. It's generally just really easy to deal with at this point, just one negate, and without any other fairies to hand, they have to use the Vanity's Ruler as discard fodder for Herald of the Orange Light, so most people are reluctant to even do that, so you have even more leeway here. If they don't want to get rid of their Vanity's Ruler, you practically have zero interaction to deal with, which is super strong, which is why I generally just like Gamma, the unit carrier. Unit carrier is a really big choke point for Drytrons, which is why it is just so effective, and most of the Handtrap points are over there. So now we'll reset the deck a bit again. We're going to go ahead and add back the Zeta plus Alpha. We're going to put back the Ben 10s in the deck. We'll be looking at DD Crow next. DD Crow, it has some interesting tech. For example, if I have the Ben 10 over here, if I use Alpha's effect Tribute Ben 10 for cost and you chain DD Crow to banish Ben 10, since it's no longer in the graveyard, Ben 10 will kind of just fizzle, but there's no really real point in it because you can just summon Alpha, search another Ben 10 and be happy from there. So you usually don't negate the first Ben 10. So we're going to go ahead and resolve our Alpha, of course. And now Alpha will be searching a copy of Ben 10, obviously. It's going to be searching Ben 10. Ben 10 searches a Vanity's Ruler. We're going to use Zeta. Zeta will be summoning out a copy of itself. It's going to be summoning itself, of course. Tributing up Ben 10, you're going to be searching the Meteorness Drytron. Ben 10 searches Herald of Orange Light. Now that you go into the unit carrier. Now unit carrier, it's kind of similar to what was the card we used? I believe it was, I don't remember which card we used, but it was the card that makes stuff fizzle. Well, yeah, it was Ghost Spell. So it's similar, kind of similar to Ghost Spell DD Crow. So you're gonna use unit carrier, equip Dawn Knight. And once they activate the Meteorness Drytron, you chain DD Crow, banishing. Oh wait, they have two. Sorry, you can't do that. Sorry, I thought they only had one. This is kind of the better hand they have. I'll just show you what to do with the worst hand, just Zeta plus your Alpha in a moment. If they only have Zeta plus Alpha, then you just use DD Crow, banish Zeta, and you're happy from there. But you don't use DD Crow over here. They're gonna go ahead, tribute stuff, summon out a copy of Ben 10 from your graveyard. And now they will go ahead, use Dawn Knight. Going to be sending out you can use Dawn Knight sending a Gamma to the graveyard. And now if you DD Crow the Gamma here, they have no form to recover anything. Sorry, I'm supposed to banish that. You banish it, and then they can't really do anything from here. They have the Ben 10 to deal with, and at most they have one negate with Herald of Orange Light. All of this does die to Herald of Orange Light just because Ben 10 plus Zeta plus Alpha. It's an absurd hand that's able to do anything to any Handtrap, which is stupid. But if they do just open Alpha plus Zeta, then as I said, you just want to banish the Zeta and you are happy from there. They cannot do anything whatsoever with a banished Zeta and just one ritual monster in hand. So that is kind of the part for the... That's kind of it for DD Crow, I guess. We're going to go ahead and reset the deck one more time to deal with Ash. Now Ash, it's more of a hit or miss. If they have a good enough hand, they can easily play through Ash. But with a hand like Zeta plus Alpha, which I will be showcasing right here, it's a lot more difficult for them to play through an Ash. So I'll reset the deck over here. And now you'll activate Alpha's effect, tributing Zeta. If you Ash this, you're good. You just Ash this, you were perfectly fine. At most they can use Zeta's effect, tributing off Alpha, summoning itself, I mean. And they cannot do anything. Just search Meteorness Drytron, yeah, big deal. they can't do anything once again. Just doing this Ash Blossom is a hit or miss. Being able to stop Drytron in their steps early enough is really effective, and you should be able to OTK pretty nicely next turn, depending on the deck you play. Say you play Zeus, then say you play Zodiac, they can't. It's pretty difficult for them to play through a Zeus simply because of its ability to just blow up your opponent's entire board. It's really funny. So that's kind of it for Ash Blossom. And if they have a really broken hand, like I showcased with DD Crow, you can't do anything, unfortunately. If they have a broken hand, you unfortunately just cannot. Like, let's go ahead get a Ben 10. It was on top of the deck. Say we have Ben 10. They're gonna go ahead tribute off Ben 10. There's no point in negating Alpha now, since Ben 10 could just search another Ben 10, and then they can go ahead profit from there. So you're gonna be searching Alpha, searching another Ben 10. There's no point in negating Ben 10 again, since you already have access to Ben 10. Do keep a count of how many times I say Ben 10. Ben 10, of course, searching the Vanity's Ruler in this case. Now they're gonna use Zeta. Zeta will tribute the Vanity's Ruler. There's no point in ashing this either, since Vanity, you can just search anything. They can just search another interruption off Ben 10, which is really annoying. They're gonna go ahead and get another search for the Herald of Orange Light, and now they will go ahead link into the copy of Union Carrier. This hand is usually like that hand, Alpha plus Beta plus Zeta. You have to deal with at least one form of interruption, which is kind of the sad bit. You're gonna use Union Carrier, of course. Oh wait, I forgot to search Meteor, so what am I doing? I forgot to search it. It's really difficult to play with this specifically. Now, so they'll obviously equip the Dawn Knight. And now you'll use Meteorness. You're gonna be summoning stuff, and it's a lot more difficult to play with an Ash, unfortunately, just because they can do a lot more stuff. The best place to negate, in my opinion, is just the Dawn Knight. They can't do anything after that. It's pretty similar to say the Meister situation, where you just negate Dawn Knight and they're basically dead at that point. They have no extra interruption in order for them to play with, which is kind of the best part. So Ash Blossom is a hit or miss situation. You either have to deal with a couple of extra interaction, but the main point here is you just want to stop them from getting the Vanity's Ruler. You just want to stop them from summoning it, and then you want to go ahead, follow up ODK, and put enough in negate in order to stop them from using Vanity's Ruler at all. So that was kind of my combo guide. Just a TLDR, you having Ben 10 plus Alpha plus Zeta, it's almost impossible to beat that hand with any singular hand trap. They will still have a good lot of interruptions to play with, which is pretty sad, unfortunately. But it's a sad truth. So that is kind of the video. If you enjoyed the video and hopefully it helps you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell, as it really does help the channel. And I guess I'll be seeing you next time. Goodbye.